Power and language go hand in hand. And if you're in a position of power and want to be taken more seriously, you're going to have to know how to communicate. You may think that money, your experience, or your fame is what will give you power. And in some circumstances, you're right. But if you know how to communicate effectively, people will see you as powerful. And if you don't know how to communicate effectively, that power that you got from that money, that experience, or that fame will quickly disappear. If you're interested in learning 6 things you can avoid in your conversations to make you more powerful, then stick around and watch the video. It seems like nobody knows how to talk to anybody anymore. And I don't know if that's our parents' fault or the education system, but I'm gonna go ahead and blame both. Thanks a lot, Mom and Dad. Okay, all joking aside, this is becoming a very serious problem, especially with us millennials. And language can be such an incredible tool in determining how you want others to perceive you. If we use powerful speech when we talk, we can sound more knowledgeable and more confident about what we're talking about, even if that might not be the case. If you use powerless speech while you talk, you will sound uninformed and more passive, even if that's not true. So, here are 6 things you need to stop right now if you want to be taken more seriously when you talk. The first one is to stop hesitating. They probably touched base on this with you in high school when they told you to refrain from like whenever you gave your presentations. And they were right. They were so right. This is the most frequently used form of powerless speech, and in speech studies, this has actually been recognized as the most unhelpful thing that you could be doing in your conversations if you want to be taken more seriously. For most people, I'm sure this is a habit, to fill the empty space when you talk, but it needs to be the first thing to go if you want to be taken more seriously. The second type of speech you need to cut out of your conversations is hedges. No, not those hedges. Hedges are the phrases like I think and I guess, and they can dramatically reduce the impact of whatever you're trying to tell somebody. Listen to these 2 scenarios and notice which one sounds more powerful. I think you should email me that report by this afternoon. Hey, email me that report by this afternoon. By cutting those hedges, you will sound more assertive and less submissive. The third thing are tag questions. These are the little questions that we usually add on to a statement to check to see if everybody else agrees with us. And by looking for that confirmation, you take all the power out of what you're trying to say. Just go ahead and say what you think, and others will be more likely to agree with you if you say it with confidence and you ditch that uncertainty. Number 4, avoid disclaimers. These are the classic, no offense, but, or don't get me wrong, but, and people add these comments onto their statement when they want to deny any responsibility or consequences that might come from what they say. Has anybody ever told you, no offense, but, and then they go on to say something that really offends you? Did you still get offended even though they said no offense? Exactly. They don't work, so just don't use them. The only situation where it's okay to use a disclaimer is if you're giving honest feedback to somebody and you don't want to bring them down. So, for instance, you could say, not trying to be too critical, but that kind of ran a little too long. Or, not trying to be harsh, but maybe try to speak up a little bit. Number 5. Alright, the 5th thing to avoid is called side particles. And I know you don't know what that means, so let me explain it to you. Side particles are those little things that people put into their comments to try to sound more smart or impressive. Words like simply, or that is, or henceforth, when the comment alone would have been completely fine. People mistakenly use these to try to sound smart or powerful, but what they end up sounding like is like a big pompous. So please don't do that. Alright, I saved my favorite for last, and it is no excuses. Do not give excuses. He that is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else. If the reason was your fault or you could have prevented it, Don't try to deny any responsibility or consequences by making excuses. Just own up to it and just deal with it. I found the easiest way for you to improve on these is to just go about your conversations, and if you notice in one that you're making these mistakes, then apply what you learned to the next one. And just keep doing that over and over and over again, constantly learning, constantly improving, and you will sound more powerful, and as a result, you will be taken more seriously. Alright, if you found any of this valuable and plan to use this information to improve your communicating skills from here on out, please go ahead and like the video and subscribe for weekly content. Also, drop a comment down below telling me which one of these you are the worst at and what you're going to do to fix it. I would love to hear it. Alright guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Peace.